I'm sitting here like I feel like Deep Thoughts by Jack Handy. Do you remember that on SNL a long time ago? Anyhow, I'm had some very crazy sleep and very crazy dreams and got up and watched another video, and I think everybody needs who's on my feed needs to go watch this. It's on Engineering Made Easy on YouTube, and it's called 11 Dimensions Explained dash Higher Dimensions Explained dash All Dimensions Explained, and it was posted 2 months ago. Now, I shared it on my Facebook and Telegram today, and I shared a little bit of the one. Taco Spice had sent me one or put in the group chat about the, I don't know, higher dimensions or something. And I think it was 14-minute video. And I watched that and I was like, oh my God. I phoned her right away and we had this big, huge conversation. And then the other video comes up in my feed the other day and I'm like, oh, I'll get around to watching that. I'll get around to watching it. And I didn't get around to watching it until this morning. And I was like, I think everybody needs to watch that video, the 11 dimensions, because then you would get, I think you would have a deeper understanding. If you have to watch it a couple times, don't feel bad. Like, who cares? Like, it's awesome. It's an awesome video. And the reason I'm saying that is because I think it will make you feel better about the overall timeline being played out right now. Okay? Now, what I'm saying by that is, and how important your thoughts are to the what's going on, is I basically, I guess the best way to put it is you'll see how 3D everybody is. Like we're all 3D. I don't care what anybody says, we're just all 3D. And then it explains better, like how timelines split. It explains when time travel occurs, what kind of beings occur at certain dimensions. So like it made it so simple for me to understand because I guess the best way to say it is I can see personally whether it's the fifth dimension or the future of this self. I can see, I can go and tap into certain timelines, and I think that's why I can remember dates really easily and that sort of stuff because I can take myself right back to whatever it happened in this biological meat suit. But then so without getting too deep into all of that, it'll also help you have a better understanding of who Queen Romana is. I was just like, and who Donald Trump is, and who Princess Diana is, and who JFK Jr. is, and who these people are in these biological meat suits. I get goosebumps as I say that all over my body. So if you watch that video, there's a lot of movies that I was like, hey, they explain this to kids in the movie Inside Out. They talk about, and I knew that anyways, but it was a better way of explaining how the two-dimensional objects will see a three-dimensional object, for example. And that's a really important concept to grab when you go from, say, a piece of paper, like a piece of paper. Oh, look at what card it is on top too. Ha. A piece of paper, okay, like these cards. And then there's a 3D object entering it. So he explains how, say if it's an apple and it's a 2D object, how it's only going to see a point of contact as a little pinhole, and then the circle gets bigger until it envelopes the 2D, the 3D shape like this, and then it goes back to being smaller again. And I was like, you're right. That's why we can't see everything around us, because we don't have the perceptions and the same way to articulate the dimensions. So I was like, I get how all of the energy works together now. It made, like, I was like, oh, it's such a big red pill. So I'm grateful for it. And it goes all the way up to, like I said, 11, and he gets to 10. And he's like, that's where God is. But there's like something where God is even like how God is created, obviously. Like, so I was just like, wow, like it's just amazing. But it's so important for you to watch, because then you'll realize how important meditation is. Like, I was outside on the patio this morning meditating, and I was seeing like these dimensions kind of collapsing and going through, like I kind of saw in the video, and it was more in depth, I guess, than I'd ever seen before. And I was getting not necessarily glimpses of people, but energy balls of people. And I've had that dream before. And I think that's why I'm so drawn to drawing paintings with balls on it. Like, because of the big painting I did in Amsterdam, while and I just posted that. So it's a 6 year delta, literally, of when I painted the Amsterdam painting. So I would have had this dream right about now that I'm saying it, because I just posted the memory of I can't start painting the canvas until Sunday. And so I would have been having this dream, oh my goodness, 6 years ago today. So this is really interesting. So I'll probably start crying when I tell you this, because it's so fascinating. There is a lady that, when I was making this homemade canvas in Amsterdam, who worked behind me, and was cleaning the kitchen that I started cleaning. So I was doing a workaway program. I said yes to doing, like, oh yeah, I'll go help you clean out this and that. I love keeping busy. I love learning things. I love meeting people. So I got to cook in a vegan restaurant for a couple months, or yeah, about a month and a half. And like, it was a great experience. Anyways, so because I said yes to this, they're like, hey, do you want to paint this big wall mural in this vegan kitchen? I'm like, yeah, but it was on a tile wall. So this lady came in to help clean, and there was other people who were doing construction. This nice couple from England, and of course the beautiful people that live in Amsterdam. So there was a lot of people that were helping on this project, and but this one lady in particular, her name was Inaka, and she's just a beautiful picture. You can see her picture on my Instagram, her and I hugging. And she went away right now on vacation. She took a week off of cleaning this. It was gross. It was like one of these kitchens, like, that somebody took over and was, they hadn't used it for a while. So there was a couple of gross fridges. Like, it was a kitchen, greasy, gross, yuck. Anyhow, so she was scrubbing away, and then she went on vacation, and we didn't really exchange a lot of talk. She spoke good English. Not that I do. But anyways, so she left, and she would bring me tea and a little biscuit or whatever. It's probably the only thing that I ate when I was making this canvas. So she went away, and she came back, and I had painted the canvas. While she was away 6 years ago, she went to and did a Stargate. And I didn't know anything about these things. Like, I'd seen the movie, and I was like, it's time travel, whatever, this is weird, you know? And she told me she went on this Stargate, and she came back, and she was like really emotional about it. And I had painted this on 6 canvases. It was a 6 by 2 meter wall mural. And I painted these a field of bubbles, a floating bubble basically, but it was like clouds and a tree, and the tree was like a man and woman tree, and I'd painted glow in the dark stars, and like it was like all the colors of the rainbow. And I didn't have very much to work with, so it was because it was on a budget. She came back and she was like shocked. She goes, I have to bring, she brought everybody into the front smoke room. And she goes, I have to tell you the story. And so everybody's like, I've got a joint. People are smoking cigarettes, and we're all like listening to her story. And she goes, I went away on the Stargate. And she goes, Raven was there. And I was like, I just met you, like weird. And she goes, no, it was like I was going through this place, and I came up, and all of a sudden there was your painting, and da 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 da, and I told my friend about it, and I saw you in the Stargate painting this picture. And it was weird because the dream that I'd had was I didn't know what to paint. I was like, well, what am I going to paint? He wants meadow, and they want this, and it's a yoga studio and a dance place, and I don't know what to put in there because it had like the standard like yoga lotuses and meditating people, and my style wasn't that style. So but I had had a dream where all these energy bubbles came in and out, much like when I was meditating today. And they were like, we are all one. We are all one. And I couldn't see their faces. So that's why I did these energy bubbles, because it was representative of how we were all connected and how energy flows. And I was probably seeing the ether in like our biosphere that connects us all together. And it was just a really, so I painted this painting. And now, 6 years to the day, I'm watching this movie, or this 23-minute documentary about the 11 dimensions. And I was like, wow, okay, so I'm pretty sure that I visited the fifth dimension or my alternate universes many times and collapsed itself. That's why I get so confused sometimes when I'm waking up, because I'm going to do work either here, and that's what I'm remembering, or to another place and coming back. So this timeline, if I keep my uh, um, vibrations low, or stuck in what's happening with the JB or any of that stuff, I'm thinking, wow, I'm really distracted completely from tapping into those other things. And plus, if we get way too much information flying at us at a 3D level, where we know that we're 8.5 months, like I posted that really great thing Sapphire had shared with this morning from, can't remember where it's from. Anyways, on from Telegram, I posted on my Facebook, and in Telegram, it's been posted a couple of times, about how we're at the 8.5 month of a 9 month birth, and there's many military veterans that have been in this game a lot longer. Well, yeah, these people, like, this is galactic. This is galactic beyond galactic over 3D. So there's many timelines why people don't know exactly what's going to happen or when the date is. And I've tried kind of explaining it, but I'll use my box of cards here. So these are the box of cards I'll be reading. So how I explained it is, pretend this is the cube theory of every single person swirling around in an energy thing. And one person makes a choice, and it affects all these other alternate universes over there as well. So there's so many timelines going on that it's impossible, and I do say impossible, to predict when anything will happen. Our job right now, as being spiritually awake, is to focus on the higher dimensions of love and light beings that are here helping us, and tapping into how we can rectify this. Like, I full on believe this was a download from my future self in a galactic being. That's what we see as aliens. I think there are future selves coming and zooming in and out from the other dimensions of alternate universes checking on us and making sure it's us. How do we know it's not us? How do we know that's not us? If I've already asked this question last year and this year, like the whole 17th letter movement Q, we found out is book of Bibles, and there's 777 whatever books of Bibles and yada yada yada. We don't know diddly squat. But how do we know that these beings that are coming in and out from and manifesting themselves into a physical form aren't us? Like, take the movie Paul, like where he's an alien being smoking weed and whatever. How do you know that's not one of those guys' future selves? You don't know that. Like, you have no idea. So we know that as 3D beings, we can't see our future selves. We have to tap into our manifestation powers and elevate ourselves with our frequency and vibration, because that is ultimately the 11th dimension is frequency and vibration. So I hope this is making sense to everybody, because it makes sense to me. But I'm going to do a card reading anyways. So yesterday, the two cards that I pulled out that I hadn't done a reading for myself in a while was the Raven and number 17, the Stag. So I'm going to do a little shuffle. I hope that that made sense to everybody, that when we are, I reached the seventh dimensions. Yeah, they are your guides because they are you, right? I am you, you are me, we are all one in this realm, because we're all making the choices to come into this time dimension together. And we have been here many, many times before. And how do we know even what we're doing isn't just like like a week in our ooh, that's falling out. I better pick those two up. They're stuck together. And there's a third one sticking out. So I would have showed you, but they're out there under the cupboard. But how do we know that it's not just us participating in our job that we have off planet? Off planet is just this plane of consciousness. Okay? Flat Earth, whatever. It's a plane of consciousness. That's why we're a realm in the physical. I hope that TikToks with you. We're all energy balls. We're all balls. Oh wow, I love it. Partnership and the Water Fairy are the two cards that were stuck together. Oh, and the Fave, Lady of the Lake. You guys, this is going to be amazing. Oh my goodness, I got chills. They're multiplying. I'm telling you. So, message. And, oh, good. I'm a spiritual medium, and sometimes I realize, yes, we are more than what we've been told. And that's why the best is yet to come. And that's why money is to me lower than 3D. It's almost 2D. It's paper. It's a paper frequency. So we're going to the energy exchange. So we've got number 28, number 32, and number 8. Well, that's good. They all have consistent numbers with each other. So I'm going to read partnership first because I love that card. You're put on notice to seek in connection all things. This is the coming together of ideas, the fulfillment of attraction, the marriage between two people, and the harmonious blending of energies. If you're inquiring about a partnership of any kind, which I was, this signifies the importance of observing the qualities that this partnership creates as a result of the sum of its parts. There's always much to learn in the choice of partners. Yes, there is. When you receive this blessing of partnership on your journeys, it's a sign that the object of your inquiry may indeed give you what you need. I was kind of thinking that anyways, which makes me happy, to be honest. I'm like super happy. So personally speaking, just on a 3D level, that makes me lovely. I just love it. It's a portend of opportunity where partnership exceeds the potential of the individual. This sacred journey marker reminds you that you're never alone and that there's always a partnership with the divine. It's a very auspicious omen. I almost want to cry. Oh, I love it. And yeah. So the water fairy actually kind of represents the person I had in question as well, because our first kiss was in the ocean. There's a little shh. Secrets. When the water fairy swims up to you with her liquid magic, she reminds you that emotions and feelings may be running the show. She asks you to consider how really you feel about things and why. She also reminds you that you are not your feelings, you're the one experiencing them. Remember that as water flows, emotions change. The water fairy also tells you it's time to lose your rigidity. Be willing and fluid and willing at times to compromise and allow change to happen. If you're happy right now, enjoy. The water fairy swirls her love around you. If things are making you sad, she comes to wash away your tears. The water fairy knows the power of emotions, so when she appears, be mindful of them and how they affect you. Remember, feelings are the fuel for manifesting. At 21:21 too. Feel Be certain of what you want to create, what you're feeling. Allow your feelings to pass through and focus on the positive. The water fairy longs to smile at you in your reflection. And the Lady of the Lake is number 8, which is infinite, as we all know. And it's absolute truth, courage, self-respect, and responsibility. Here we go, peeps. The Lady of the Lake represents the highest order of respect for yourself and the manner in which you operate within the world around you. She's the harsher element of truth, where denial is swept away by a tidal wave of events. In the ancient legend of Avalon, the Lady of the Lake presented Merlin with the sword of truth, which may be claimed by Arthur, who became the High King of Britain. The magic that wielded this metal from was fired by the will of the goddess. Consequently, when the Lady of the Lake appears, she demands nothing short of total truth and integrity. She asks you to become mindful of all the signs, signals, and omens that present themselves to you. This is not the time to second guess your faith, people. If a signal appears, be assured that a challenge is being presented. Moving forward without acknowledgement of the challenge will result in unnecessary difficulties. If the signal is to move, she pushes you to act. Do so, for a victory is imminent. Regardless of your question, the message is to take care when the Lady of the Lake appears, as serious business is at stake. The lady reminds you of your personal responsibility in shaping your reality and the consequences. Seek the sword of truth within yourself, and great success will be yours. I got goosebumps again. I love it. Have courage when the lady appears. The strength of Avalon is behind you in support of your quest for wholeness and abundance. And you must call for abundance. You must. Abundance and manifestation is like, we are getting super helped by our guides right now, to help elevate us and be truthful and mindful about our energies. And that's what today's video is all about. And I'm so excited it worked out, of course, as beautifully as normal. So I'm very, very grateful. But I did want to point out a few things to a couple of people who are very be mindful of how we're approaching giving information, because after this big discussion, we all have been elevated from the basic earth plane that we know into a higher vibration of even stronger love and courage to go forward, because we all can grasp we are more than this biological meat suit. We are more than this. And that's what the big lie has been. It wasn't been about the bloodlines. It wasn't been about, yes, it's been about what's been happening on our plane. But the biggest secret is about who we are and what we are capable of doing. So, like the last however many years in these biological meat suits, which is just a flip of a light switch in our other realms, a flip of a light switch. So that's why, as slow going, this life is to teach us patience. It's taught me patience, total patience. And I wanted to say something else. So, my oldest son, who is in the reserves, I had a 2 hour conversation with him yesterday. 2 hours. Was talking to him while he was unloading cement, and like I was on speakerphone in his truck while he was doing all of his work stuff. Oh, hold on, I gotta go unload some stuff. He was stuck in traffic. So we had like a really good conversation. And I like that because it's kind of like when you're just sitting in traffic, I go, "Are you sure?" Like he's like, "Oh yeah, like I'm literally going nowhere." And then there was 3 times where he honked his horn and got all cheesed off, and I'm like, "Do I need to hear that crap in my ear?" So he's laughing at me, but we got to the point about talking about the some like of the basic. We talked about the JAB. We talked about med beds. We talked about the new queen. We talked about volunteering. We talked about how the military, and he had already joined the military. We talked about how his 2 brothers are probably going to be drafted and they don't know it because they're both very smart and they're very hand-eye coordinated people. And my youngest son goes to target practice, and I'd be afraid of him. He's a sniper, like a natural sniper. Like yeah. So he's got a very good hand-eye coordination. So I'm sure they'll all be called upon because they're all Sasquatches. Like my shortest kid is 6'2". Mm-hmm. The tallest one I think is 6'6" now, and the meatiest one is probably like 260, just muscles, right? So why wouldn't they be military and helping? And why wouldn't they be the ones being the highest paid in a 3D world? Why wouldn't they be the one doing the humanitarian projects and rolling out these med beds and helping schools be set up and taking care of? And yes, the med beds do help the JAB. Said that yesterday. So I'm not putting any more energy into it at all. I don't want to talk about the CV anything. Like it's like out of my realm, and it's been going further and further and further down the realm. And just because in my matrix that doesn't exist. Even the person I was inquiring about, I had to go through a lot of what was stopping us from being together. And I'm really excited actually about the card reading, like on a selfish, egotistical way. I'm like, fuck yeah, like it's on, like it's on. I thought that's how things were supposed to work, but I was seeing it in such a 3D way. I could not get out of my own OCD. I couldn't get out of this person is in the military. Okay, I'll just tell you. I'm a free spirit. In a 3D world, we all know how that works out. If you're like stuck together in a closed environment, not so great. But when you're free to help you, when you're both humanitarians, when you both believe in a higher power, when you both believe in yourself and you take care of yourself, he takes care of himself. Wait till you see who I'm talking about, because I'm sure it's going to work out now. You'll be like, yeah, Raven, you go. And everybody who knows me that knows who I'm talking about, they'll be like, yeah, you go. So that's why I'm wearing this hat. It's just for him. Anyways, but I don't think he doesn't even watch my videos. I know he doesn't watch my videos. So that's okay. I'm glad. But I know he still loves me. So I know when things are all exposed, things are supposed to be the way they are. So I just have faith in my future and I trust in my plan, and knowing that I'm a galactic being and I can choose and create whatever timeline and manifest the happiest life because I'm already doing it. I don't know how much happier I really could be right this moment. I don't. Well, one thing, if one of my kids did one thing, I would probably be the happiest mom on the planet. And it's it would sound horrible for me to say it, so I won't. But that's really what I'm just like, honestly, I have it good. I have great friends. I have great people watching my videos and being in the frequency of the same sound and vibration. So I can't be thankful enough. I am so grateful. So I am manifesting more happiness. This movie in 3D is hilarious. Like, hilarious. If you did not see that I Donaldo created a new Taliban account, that is funny. That is super funny. And funny, as soon as the T word people moved into um, Afghanistan, uh, all of a sudden women are going back to school and walking the streets happily. So, and I don't mean walking the streets in that disgusting way. I mean actually being allowed to just freely travel. So, if you didn't know what was going on there before, it's a big eye opener for a lot of people. And where I found it on the paper here in the Calgary Sun on August 14th, the whole Afghanistan conflict, where would you think that would be for breaking news? It is. It's actually has to be played out, unfortunately, the way things are being played out, because no one's going to believe that all these drugs and humans and bank accounts were all going through Afghanistan. And why do you think Obama wanted to bomb and go into all of these places? Because they weren't the ones going with the Fed. So it was all about controlling. And if you get that, the 3D people that are dark energies stay on the bottom, they don't ever get to use this because they don't have it. So they can't ever leave this planet. That's the whole thing that they're trying to figure out, and they can't. Period. I hope this video really clears up a lot of stuff for people in your timeline now. I know even just, yeah, talking about it through it with you has helped me because it just makes me have less care to trolls, have less care to lower vibes, have less care to people that aren't with the narrative of taking physical action to send out cease and desist orders. And by the way, if you haven't followed Romana Didolo on Telegram, you must, because she's connecting worldwide group chats to help connect people. We all wanted a place to find out in our countries where to help people. That's where you can go. So if you don't know, it's t.me/ Romana Didulo, ROMANADIDULO. All right. And some of the things that she's been doing has been getting hacked. Don't think they don't know about it. It's all part of catching more bad guys. Okay? So be patient. The best is yet to come. Okay? Work on your cleaning your physical bodies so that you can connect more with your higher selves and go have higher self conversations more often. I know it's this is literally changing my thought process even more every day. Every day we're learning. I didn't know anything last year. Like I look back and I'm like, I feel so dumb compared to what I know now. And I know this is the way it's supposed to be. We all have to be woken up when we were all ready. So this is not begrudging anybody where you are in your timeline. We are all exactly where we are supposed to be, waking up exactly how we're supposed to be. Yeah, so yeah, it's a Trump flag. I'm house sitting, and of course, I wouldn't house sit where there wasn't Trump fans. In my bedroom, there's a Trump flag. on my window as well. I love it. And there's a nice queue, and then there's I could show you all the Trump paraphernalia in here. My fam jam here is just awesome. I love them so much. So hi if you're watching. Anyhow, well, take care, and I hope post what I just spoke about. Oh yes, I'll put the link in my group chat here. This is one I will pay attention to and put the link that I'm talking about in the chat, so you don't have to go find it. Yeah, so just look, if it's not in the comments, it'll be in the details, or maybe both if I'm feeling up to it. So definitely light and love on your journey, because we're all in this, no matter what happens in these alternate string theories going on, and however that's being played out. We need to speed it up by manifesting a more happy timeline. That's how easy it is. So I hope I made sense to everybody. I love you. Take care.